Hello, welcome back to my channel. How are you all, my Krishna's devotees? Here I am with yet another video. Let's continue with the chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, that is Sankhya Yoga, from verse 21st onwards to 30. Okay, in these verses, Sri Krishna explains the nature of the soul, the concept of reincarnation, I mean rebirth, and also some features of the soul. Okay, weapons cannot shred the soul. I mean, fire cannot burn it, nor water can wet it, nor wind can dry it. These are the four features. Mean water, fire, or weapons, or wind cannot destroy the soul. So, because the soul is divine, it's unbreakable, and it is also primordial. Okay, this body this body has come into existence because of the soul inside our body. The existence of body itself because of the existence of the soul inside. For example, a doctor performs a surgery on a patient's body. Then the doctor may violently pierce the body of the patient, but soul is not affected. The doctor is doing like that only because the patient should recover and get back to health. So in this way, soul cannot be destroyed. Enlightened souls always take rebirth because of the concept of karma. So this is the explanation. Some of the points are repeated in Bhagavad Gita by Sri Krishna because it has to sink deep into the Arjuna's heart. One question arises, that was this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and wisdom essential before Kurukshetra? Yes, it was essential. Lord Krishna had the power to pierce the ignorance of Arjuna's heart. It was very important because you have to fight for the cause of dharma. When you are fighting for the cause of dharma, you should, at the cost of life, you have to sacrifice yourself. At that time, you cannot think of any love or any relationship for that matter. You have to fight for dharma. That is the intention of Lord Krishna. This body is a garment for the soul. When this body becomes dysfunctional, then the soul passes into another body. Okay, when some zygote is formed, some soul enters into that zygote. Only then this body comes into existence on this earth. When we go to temple, we look into the face of God and pray. Only when we go to temple and look into the eyes of God, God observes us, God sees us. Only then some prayer gets fulfilled. In the same way, when Arjuna was in the midst of the armies, he was looking at the enemy army. He was getting confused. But now, after the beginning of the Gita-upadesha, Arjuna directly is looking into the eyes of Krishna. Then his heart, his wounded heart was healed. That's why then this Gita-upadesha was very essential. Only when we look at God, we will get knowledge. Only we look at God, our problems will solve. Okay. In this way, Krishna instructs Arjuna not to worry about the death of the physical body of Bhishma or Drona, because this soul takes multiple changes happens in our body, but soul is invisible and is indestructible. When this soul comes on this earth, it is polluted by this worldly maya, because there are two extremes, birth and death. In between this is life. In this life, so much of maya and so much of illusion takes place. This soul should get purified only when we reach the Paramatma. That's why Arjuna is looking at Sri Krishna to purify himself. Okay. Every soul is like a fresh flower. It has its own beauty, it has its own richness, it has its own fragrance. That's why the soul definitely has rebirth, and there is no reason that Arjuna should lament, because every soul gets rebirth. The most surprising fact of this life is death. That's why, and it is inevitable too. One should not lament for that which is inevitable, because whether you lament or you don't lament, it will definitely happen. Krishna calls Arjuna as Mahabaho, because he has to keep Dharma alive. When this soul goes out of this body and enters another body, this birth and death both are painful to the soul. Okay, Krishna skillfully repeats the point that the substantial portion of the past gets forgotten when the soul changes the body. That's why we don't remember our past lives' memories. But the impressions of the present have a great impact on the soul. So, this material eye can see the material objects, but the soul is divine. So, in order to see the soul, in order to understand the soul, we need to have the consciousness. Finally, consciousness is the feature of the soul. Okay. That's it for today. Thank you. Please support my channel, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell to receive my further videos. Thank you. Hare Krishna.